Aren't you about tired of listening to sports shows with all the woke bullshit? So are we. This is Patriot Sports Radio.
Patriot Sports Radio.
Fed up with the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media. If it's sports, from the high school level to the pros, we're talking about it like the red-blooded Americans we are.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Let's do this. And now, here's Eric, Angela, John, Chris, and the coach.
Welcome back, my friends. If you're new, then welcome in Patriot Sports Radio. My name is Eric. I'm your host. Glad to have you with us. Thank you for all those reviews. Chris is back from Iowa, making the engines fire, making all the things happen. It was all set up. I got here. The invites were sent. All I had to do was plug this thing in. It's a beautiful situation. It's a beautiful autumnal evening here in the good land. And this show, as we roll into October, just like your pumpkin spice latte, 0% pumpkin. Anyway, we got sports. Basically wall-to-wall football tonight, but the MLB playoffs are going on right now as well. I think Chris is over there sweating out and over, so we wish him luck on that. The WNBA finals are about to begin. I only bring it up because of how perfectly they scheduled it. If you have a sport that you're trying to get more people to watch, the best thing to do is take your best game and put it right up against NFL football. So it's Sunday at 3, they're going to play their finals. Great job.
Lame.
Great job. The Minnesota Twins won a playoff series for the first time since like Kirby Puckett. 19 straight playoff series losses. They had lost 18 playoff games in a row. And I just watched them finish off a 2-0 playoff victory. Unbelievable.
Yeah, swept the old BJs. Gotta love it. Love the small market teams.
Yeah.
Suck it, hosers.
Exactly. Enough of these legacy baseball teams. We need a new Kansas City Royals in here. I haven't watched really. That was the first playoff baseball I've watched. It just started a couple days ago, though. I'm not that deep into it.
Well, again, talking about scheduling nightmares, for all those corporate sellouts, what are we going to do? Just prop open an iPad at 2:30 Mountain Time to watch these games or what? I mean, especially from a gambling perspective, it's hard to be engaged. It is, but it just doesn't feel the same when you got to exit a meeting and then, hurry up and get your bets in while you're taking a shit. I mean, what are you supposed to do? You got no time to think about this.
Well, I wonder what my record is from the work stall. Maybe I should place most of my bets from the work stall. 65% of the time, I'm not even taking a shit. I'm just gambling.
That's awesome.
It's just the union mandated sit and break. And you're just choosing to use the stool.
Oh,
that
we
should
once had
be
an afternoon
like, so
break.
you have dollar bet club. You have dollar bet club. You should have like from the stool, like stool betters unlimited or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that may be copyrighted. I'm not sure. Before we do football, did you see the Troy Aikman's Jay-Z meme? The internet is calling Troy Aikman the white Jay-Z. It's pretty uncanny when they show the two faces cut in half and smashed together. I don't know if artificial intelligence has
gone too far,
doctored it up a little, or it's definitely gone too far. These robots. I saw something about mosquitoes with barcodes on them. I don't know. If we're making mosquitoes in factories, I got questions. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Raiders, speaking of crazy shit, the Raiders signed Chandler Jones to a 3-year, $51 million contract. And then he went on some rant talking about Josh McDaniels allegedly committed violent acts or hired people that I'm not sure. It was Aaron Hernandez related, and it was really, really unhinged. And now he's been cut. So he's just out there in the middle of a mental health crisis, I believe. And the team cut him. I think he was arrested. Hopefully he's getting the help he needs. Sheesh. These guys running into each other with their heads. You can't do that infinite amount of times. There is a point at which you go crazy. These are all people, these three players, him and the next two that I'm going to talk about are players that the AFC West signed to try and stop Patrick Mahomes, and now they're all cut. The Chargers gave cornerback J.C. Jackson 5 years, $82 million in the offseason. And he was just sent to the Patriots for a late round pick swap. Like one team got the others 6th and 7th. Is just a nothing transaction. And I think the Chargers are still paying $12 million of his salary, like basically the whole thing for this year. And the Broncos gave edge rusher Randy Gregory $70 million for 5 years, and he was just cut. John, was that Sean Payton just making a statement? Like, you guys are playing terrible. Pick the biggest guy and beat him up.
This happened today. I didn't get a good pulse on it today, with the fans in the office, whatever. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't the inclination that they're going for young speed and stuff like that. And Randy Gregory apparently has some little less tread on the tires. I mean, he's been a cornerstone of their, albeit god-awful defense, but you still need somebody there that can, wrap their arms around somebody and take them to the ground.
Yeah. Jonathan Cooper kid looks like he can play.
There was a lot of talk that he was being misused and in a lot of offensive schemes against them, had him somehow covering a slot receiver or better. So, it seems like they didn't know where to put him and to adequately use his skills. But, I mean, I'm so sick of the scheme determining things as a Bears fan. You've got good players, use them to their abilities and make the best decision for your team. At the end of the day, like, it doesn't have to be one perfect mosaic that fits together. You have a bunch of dudes that can play, bring in the right dudes, and then scheme to them. I don't know. I don't get it. It seems like a little bit arrogant, and that smacks of Sean Payton.
It's kind of what Belichick has been doing. I mean, he's finding lacrosse players and turning them into wide receivers, and he brings people in and says, okay, what can you do? All right, let's work with that. Now we have this binary system that you must fit in like a cog. That's not going to work. These are human beings. Next thing you know, you got Roquan Smith walking out of the building.
That's right.
Coach, you're a coach. What do you say about that?
I think there's a lot of mismanagement going on around the league right now. I think that's a problem. The higher you get, especially when it comes to NFL, you hire these guys in and they are, 3-4 specialists, 4-3 specialists, and that's the defense they run. So they come in and automatically, I don't want to say recruit, but they start tooling their drafts towards that. And I think that the higher that you go, the worse a problem that is. When instead it's exactly the opposite of it's exactly what John said is what can you do well, what personnel fits the scheme that you need to be running. I don't know. I look at the Gregory deal and I think that's comical because I can remember the big ballyhoo when they signed him, and that was a big free agent get for the Broncos, because if you'll remember, there was Dallas and 2 other teams were really trying to sign him. They really wanted him to come to fit their agenda. And when the Broncos got him, there was kind of a deal. He made a big spectacle about going there. They were fired up about getting him, and just to cut him, I think I think that's a microcosm of a much bigger problem. They got issues up there. They got issues on multiple levels, and when you look at them this year, and I'm not sure if I'm not sure if Peyton's helping or hurting the deal, because gosh, man, they're not a cohesive unit on any level. And I don't know if it's who's not jiving with who, but it's we can talk about scheme all we want, but it doesn't stop there.
No, but to continue on your point, it took Vance Joseph, the D coordinator for the Broncos, 3 quarters to figure out how to stop Justin Fields when it should have taken him 3 series. Oh, let's switch to zone.
Right.
And guess what? Interception.
Yeah. Well, it
I
just
keep
seems to me
hearing
like these
across.
guys get stuck. They get so stuck in their ways. Like
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
that. Even watching it, okay. If you're just a common fan, you're just watching the game and you see something that starts working. I don't know how many times that I'm watching an NFL game and things start to work, and immediately the next series they go back to what they were doing. It's almost like you can't, you know. I mean, in college, for example, the ones that are really great are the ones that make the adjustments at the half and they come out and it's a different game. The real great ones can do it on the fly in the middle of a game. So I just look at it and I go, what's the difference? The NFL is supposed to be the elite, the best of the best, and yet I think a little bit of it is ego, that my game plan is going to be better than what you brought to the table, and we're going to stick with that because we repped it all week.
Yeah.
It's comical and on a much smaller level, but I will tell you, I'll give you an example. This week in practice and last week we have worked a certain scheme. We play 2 games in the better part. We play one on Thursday. We turn around and play on Tuesday. We have worked a scheme that is for Tuesday and one for today. Well, that all gets thrown out the window when 3 or 4 of your players get suspended. So,
My God.
now your preparation has gone out the window, and now we go back to what can we do to fit us? What do we do well? And I just wonder, when I look at these NFL teams, when things start circling the drain, I think, gosh, man, how is there not somebody in a meeting room somewhere going, okay, look, what do we have the personnel to run well? What do we do well? Not forget what's the game plan for this team. What do we do well? And let's start
What's
there.
the fucking Novocaine? What's our Novocaine?
Yeah,
what's
what
the
do we-
shit
what do
that's
we
like
do?
molasses that we
Yeah.
can turn to that everybody does well? No, you're right. You can't run a Ferrari when you got fucking mutters.
Yeah.
Are you not running your backup plans too? I mean, you can't run a scenario where, oh, this guy gets hurt and that guy or that guy or that guy. But
even if they don't get hurt, we're coming into week 5, make a fucking adjustment, Denver.
right.
Make an adjustment.
Figured out.
I didn't see many adjustments going on in that game the other day until right there towards the end. And then I couldn't tell if it was a combination of adjustments made or a complete meltdown on the other sidelines of a team.
We can't tell. They're both so bad. We can't tell.
Lead. And,
Yeah,
you won't be able to tell for a couple more weeks. But 2 weeks from now, if we're looking back at that game and going, there was zero momentum built from that game. It was literally a team that had a total collapse on the sidelines and never knew how to play with the lead at all. Instead of adjustments being made. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Could be either one. I don't know which one it was, and it could be a little bit of both.
There's no constant and variable in that. They're both variables. They're both
it's ever
extremely
changing
shitty teams.
Yep.
Yeah, it's ever changing. Do these NFL teams stick with a losing proposition too long? Like Matt Canada still going to be calling plays in Pittsburgh, running the same exact 5 running plays that he's been running and getting shut down. And Tomlin said there'd be changes, and I guess he just meant they're going to wear pads at practice today.
I think there's a level of, I'm going to make this scheme work because I'm that good. I mean, it's my scheme. I brought it here. I'm going to make the scheme work for us because I'm that guy. Instead of, okay, this scheme doesn't fit who I have running the scheme, so let's change the scheme.
And anybody who's played knows that and been around coaches calling plays, that a certain stubbornness comes in where this should be working. It's the execution. That's the problem. Just going to keep hammering it.
I was just fixing to get there. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say is there's a constant battle running between scheme and execution usually takes the blame with the coach. And I will say this, even if you've never done it out there, calling plays is an art. It is an art form that is highly, highly untalked about and underrated. Not everybody can call plays. Not everybody has that skill set. Not everybody is. It's not as simple as scripting right hash, left hash, middle, first, second, third down. That's not how it works. You you have to be able to read the situation and come up with the great play that goes in that situation on the moment. I mean, and there's people that are, I've seen people that are really highly skilled at it, and I've seen people that are terrible at it. And I can tell you that's it's one end of the spectrum to another. It's not something that somebody, and I'm talking a quality good coach can walk in and he can take I'm going to call plays today, and he can be terrible at it. It is a skill set in its own. So calling plays, even if you're a quality coordinator at any level, is not something, that's not something that everyone can do.
Yeah, that's a skill that you have to build through a lot of trial and error. You got to get a lot of opportunities.
Yep.
That was that was kind of the what's the right word? That was kind of the bill of goods that we were sold back when we hired Matt Nagy, was that he was quote unquote a play caller at Kansas City. Well, it was the second half of a playoff game in which they didn't look good. So yeah, technically he had been a play caller, but he's not a seasoned play caller. And to your point, you got to have somebody who can be incredibly in the moment, feel the vibe of the flow of the game, and also not be so arrogant as to abandon something if it's not working. I think that's a good point. I haven't given it that much thought, but there's got to be such a learning curve to that.
Yeah.
And just the Bears, quite frankly, have not had somebody like that.
No. Well, and I've watched guys. I mean, I've seen guys that were amazing position coaches. They were highly skilled at motivating and coaching, athletes to do certain things. But when it came to getting their opportunity to call plays, they just did not have the sense that was needed to do it. I mean, there's some that will, and some of them, some of them will tell you, some of them, I am not a play caller. I am a position coach, and that's what I do. I'm in the box. I'll give you input, but these are the things behind the scenes that you're not seeing on a headset. You're seeing, a guy in the box that is making a play call, and then 3-4 people are chiming in on what they think about this call before it gets to the guy that's calling it in the huddle. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts there. And so, it's hard to say, and like you said, it's ever changing. It's hard to say what facet of that deal is getting the most weight, and ultimately it goes with the head coach, and is he, is he blocking a guy that when a play's coming in, or do you have a guy like Reed who is skilled and highly skilled in doing it, and also the head coach? I mean, that's a rarity. Usually you have your guys that are calling plays, and you make big decisions in big moments.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me to know. It'd be good to look it up, but Shane Steichen leaving Philadelphia, going to the Colts. Seems like everybody's wondering what's going on with Philly. Well, they lost their coordinators, and if you look at the Colts, by God, they look a lot better than they should. So
they do.
It's kind of you got to do a little bit of digging to figure out where the success is sometimes. Not that Sirianni in Philly isn't a great coach, but there's a lot more to winning football games than having a head coach.
Yeah. You got to get a weird guy. You got to get a googly-eyed Sirianni or a guy who's
Daniel.
Yep.
You guys remember the guy from Hard Knocks a few years ago with the Browns, the O-line coach?
Yeah.
God, I love that guy.
He had some fire in his gut.
That guy.
Absolutely.
Hey, I was talking about that the other day, the whole stretching theory that he has.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
You can't pull fat. We are a quarter of the way through the season already. Like Chris said, that's borderline depressing. Did you know that last year, all the teams that were in first place in their division at this time eventually won their divisions, and all the wild card teams were in second? So I guess this is just how it's going to go. I don't know. I know the Bengals must have fallen and then climbed back up, because I got them at like 4-1 somewhere in season. Baltimore was in front for a while.
They seem to do that every year.
I don't think they're coming back up this year.
Eesh.
God, what in the world?
They started
over
0-2 last year. Is he really hurt, Burrow?
Yeah. Their
Ouch.
plays have been all shotgun, all close to the line of scrimmage. He's not throwing it down the field. He's not taking the ball from under center. He's clearly playing through a thing. And the people like Dr. Chow says it's going to take till like November before he looks like Joe Burrow again. Provided no setbacks, obviously.
The people on my fantasy team say they suck too.
He's not bouncing back like Aaron Rodgers is. Good God.
Oh gosh.
Number one in Dynasty and number one in the Belt League. Let me just say.
Oh, of course.
For now.
Yeah, Rodgers had some kind
today.
of.
All I do is produce. I'll sit here and just listen to fantasy content constant.
He had a revolutionary, I forgot what it's called, something bridge surgery where they sew your Achilles back together with two almost staples, but they use, you know what I mean? They take two threads, whatever it is, sinew. I don't know what they use.
Weed eater string.
They use stem cells also and peptides and unicorn tears and
exactly.
They rub
what?
They rub some toad venom on it, and you're good to go.
What was it? Humping dolphins or whatever you said?
Yeah, then you just stick it in a dolphin orgy, and you're walking in 2 weeks.
He's probably going to come back. I just can see that happening. He does some weird voodoo, and he comes back, and then he throws for like 3 interceptions. It's going to be great.
I think if they're in it, we see him week 18.
I mean, they're not going to be in it, right?
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's a pretty far-fetched.
They're not going to be in it because the league won't allow it. It's fixed.
I think he's
rigged. The thumb is on the scale. I saw it with my own eyes. The defensive holding penalty that was only called after the interception. That was technically
bullshit.
Defensive holding, but it had not been called all night, and they were grabbing on each other all night long with the jerseys and the arms.
That was garbage.
That was terrible. America was robbed of a great finish. Sure, Zach was probably going to throw the pick. Maybe. He was playing great until he fumbled.
That was bad.
Oh. America, I feel like America was on her couches, like behind him, like, all right, look at him getting the ball out in 2 seconds. He's putting it where they can get it. We're looking good, and then he fumbles the snap.
He's like the coach's kid that sucks, and he's just got too much pressure on him. And, it's only a matter of time before he folds like a lawn chair.
He has dealt with the outside noise pretty well, considering. But, yeah, it's got to be getting.
I feel bad for him. My God. It's a weight of the world on your shoulders.
He played well enough to beat the Chiefs and didn't beat the Chiefs. It's got to be a long ride home. The Bills did beat the Dolphins 48-20. Josh Allen had one of the best games of his life. I'm seeing a lot of flim flam from Fickle Fins fans on the social media. These people, they're short on patience. They're an anxious bunch. They're already like, that's over. We lost to the Bills. You still got a home game against them at the end of the season. Tua's unconcussed, remains unconcussed through 4 weeks. He got sacked a few times, but he had only been sacked once before last week. But now they lost Teron Armstead. So he's about to start getting sacked.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Finns are one club scandal away from their season imploding, and any week.
Won't that be great?
And I don't care how many Dolphins fans we come on here and say that we're going to do this or that. They are who we thought they were. It's week 3. They lost to the Bills. They are exactly who we thought they were.
They're a Lamborghini with half a tank of gas,
fans,
baby.
And I'm
half
going
a
to say
tank of
this
gas.
to you, Cowboys fans, too. You're exactly who we thought you were. Both of you are. You're identical. You're identical fans. You're identical clubs, organizations. You guys might as well swap jerseys because you're both the same.
We're going to find out.
I mean, we've been saying it all year. The Dolphins are dancing on a razor's edge because you're right. It could be one scandal. It could be one bad hit. It could be a lot of things. But I will say, I like these Cowboys. I cannot wait to watch them for the rest of the year.
Yep. on Sunday night, the tough will get rough.
It's going to be great until they play that team that's in the green. The team that wears green wins the East. That's it.
Yeah, so we'll see San Francisco come in and probably, wreck shop a little bit. But, I mean, that defense is mean. Quinn's got them ship shape. You got to admit that, Coach.
Yes.
Get all your We Them Boys posts in now.
I got some Micah Parsons Defensive Player of the Year parlays out there.
He's just got to sober up, right, Coach? He can't show up hungover, allegedly.
Parsons is the real deal.
He's
all jokes aside about the Cowboys and how much I hate them, because that is true. I do hate them. That defense is legit, and Parsons is a real force. I just get tired of hearing it. Them and Texas fans. Oh, God help us if Texas wins this week. Jeez.
Micah Parsons versus Trent Williams is going to be must-see television. That's what the real football guys will be watching.
Oh,
we'll be watching the trenches.
That's a great matchup.
Yep. And then I figured DeMarcus Lawrence then is going to be the one who gets through the Purdy. But we'll learn exactly what the Cowboys are in that game. Are they the team that lost to the Cardinals, or are they the team that beats the shit out of bad teams at home? I don't know. We'll find out.
I just think, like I said, they still have to play Philadelphia twice. And, that doesn't spell greatness for them. I don't see them coming out of the East, even with the good defense, because Dak's still Dak and the Cowboys are still Cowboys. They still do Cowboy things. They still have the same head coach, and that assures you will do no better than second.
I guess the Miami Dolphins fans might have a reason to be discouraged. The last 4 games against Miami, Josh Allen has 1,376 passing yards and 12 touchdowns, an average of 344 yards a game, and he ran for another 588 and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, but Eric, have you seen our offense? Have you seen Tua? Have you seen
Devon
Achane? Tyreek Hill? He's great. Have you seen him?
That's the problem. They got that. They got a Ferrari running back there too. Old Devon Achane's averaging 11 yards per carry, but he's like 180 pounds or 170 pounds.
Now, aside from a career establishing or a career game by Josh Allen, they still have slick Vic Fangio, all 5'6" of them, calling their defense. And I got to imagine he's going to pull it together, and it should be better. Am I going to say it's great? But he doesn't put bad defenses together when he's the coordinator. Now, when he's a head coach, a separate story, but the guy knows how to coach defense. We'll see how it plays out. He was a great hire.
Yep.
Yeah,
the world needs coordinators too.
He was quality.
Yep.
Slick Vic.
Anytime he's available, teams are fighting over Vic Fangio.
He's like the guy that still wears the crusty cotton champion shorts and tall socks.
Yeah.
Full of piss and vinegar.
There's no doubt there's some Velcro fastbacks in his closet.
Don't think I haven't noticed.
Bunch of Dago tees.
You're finally going to lead your team?
Oh, man.
I think my one Vic Fangio anecdote, when he got hired in Denver, it was very clear. It was very clear that he said, you know what, it's the same freaking colors. And he just wore like an off-brand Bears blue and orange to his press conference, like the tie. It was very clearly exactly what he did, because it was just a little bit off. It wasn't quite the same orange or quite the same blue, but he was just like, I don't give a shit.
Close enough.
This is what I will introduce myself as the coach in.
Yep. Not trying to be the best at fucking tying ties, okay?
That's right.
Here's another staggering stat. Last week, we had 13 quarterbacks complete over 70% of their passes, including Brock Purdy. I think he was 21 of 22 for 95% completions. Josh Allen, 84. Dak Prescott, 81. And Justin Fields, 80%. Over 300 yards.
Throwing darts.
Where was that this whole time?
Cole Kmet wide open. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
There was a quarter there where he was open every play.
It was like It looked like we were getting pranked. Like just the defense. It's like Alabama versus Youngstown State, where there's just a clear drop off in why is that guy so open, or they're taking a dive or something, because I've never seen anything like it. We'll never see anything like it again, probably.
Caucasian Cole Kmet, just nobody for 20 yards around him.
Coleslaw.
Getting her done. Did he have 2 touchdowns?
Yeah. And I mean, what a banner day. He's been sitting on those touchdown celebrations for years.
Been waiting on that one.
That's right.
I think somebody, they chugged the football like a beer is what they were doing, or it was a megaphone. I'm not sure, but I realized last week we need a new Joe Horn situation. We need somebody to pull a phone out of something or do something wild. It's been a minute. It'd be nice just to give a nod to Joe Horn, maybe shove a phone under a goalpost. What are they going to find you? 50 grand? Money's not even real anymore.
That was back in the day when him and T.O. were having the celebration off.
Yeah.
T.O. was good at it too. T.O. you guys remember the whole the star incident?
Yep.
Oh, that was classic. And the popcorn, he brought the popcorn out.
That was great.
Yeah.
That's one of the great images of modern NFL.
Good.
I think he inspired the Derek McCringleberry, the hump.
Yeah.
Probably. That's a great skit. The Bears have lost 14 in a row, most in franchise history.
Good segue, asshole.
I was getting whipped tonight.
It's under the Justin Fields stuff. I looked at the game logs. They allowed at least 25 points in every one of those games. They got to make sweeping changes down there.
So I'm just going to run you through a graphic that was sent to me. And I mean, it puts things into perspective. Going back to Lovie Smith, and we're talking coaches and records for the Chicago Football Bears. Lovie Smith, 81-63, 3 playoff appearances, 1 Super Bowl.
Nice.
Then he got fired. Mark Trestman.
After going 10-6, he was fired.
Mark Trestman, the Canadian Alouettes coach, that came down 13-19. But his first year, we were second in the league in offense. It fell off after that. After that, John Fox.
I led the league in doubles in June, in the month of June.
Right. Hey, we were only behind that historic Broncos 2014 offense.
Oh.
Anyway, then we go to John Fox, 14-34. Matt Nagy, winning record, 34-31. And then we got Matt Eberflus, 3-18. Wow.
Ouch.
Oh, man.
We're getting worse, guys.
Yeah.
John, did you think 3?
Poor John Fox. Yeah. 14 in a row.
I mean,
John
at this point,
Fox
just keep
14 games in a row. You've been disappointed.
Yes, sir.
Going back,
What is that like? No,
they
like,
beat
can
the
you talk on that
Patriots
a little bit. What is that like as a fan? Are you going into plastic bag or paper bag? Well, paper or plastic nowadays. I'm not
plastic
sure.
bag when it really gets bad.
Yeah, okay,
And then it just goes over that.
That's game over.
Yeah, no. I mean, we wanted to tank last year. That was the whole point, pretty much. And at this point, let's just pack it in. It does us no tactical advantage to win a game. Let's let Carolina keep losing, so we get 1 and 2, and then
the night you guys traded up to get Trubinsky, I said that's the end of this franchise.
Yep. What was
let's
one
lead back
proud?
to Trubisky? Oh my gosh.
You get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison's kid, though, you'll be in good shape.
Yeah.
The first 2 picks. How will they fumble that? The first 2 picks.
How do you so now what do you do with Josh Fields? What is Josh Fields? Is Josh Fields the quarterback coach? What do you think? What do you see when you watch this kid play?
I think he plays for the Seattle Seahawks next year.
Yeah.
Ah.
And do you think he's better? Do you think it's coaching? Do you think it's the franchise?
There's definitely a GM who thinks he can get him to a Pro Bowl. Or 2.
I've heard both sides of that coin. I've heard, that he is the bust that everybody thought he was going to be, and then I've heard that it is a mismanagement of talent. But, I think ultimately it's got to be a little bit of both. I mean, there's got to be a little bit of
some accountability on
some
Josh.
accountability on both ends. It's just that's a tough, man. That's a tough deal. They have botched that whole deal, and they
They're not
continue
good.
botching things.
They're,
I mean,
they're
and the
shining
funny thing
stars
about
on
it
the
is
defense. They
Denver's
let
not
go.
far behind them.
No.
I mean,
They paid
Denver
a
had the
lot of
number one
money to
defense in the
Russell.
league 2 years ago, did they not?
Yeah. They paid a lot of money to Russell, a lot of guaranteed money, right?
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
No, he is not. He's playing better, much better statistically, but the team is not. Maybe
You know,
Randy
like
Gregory was the problem.
Ooh, don't look now, Brewers fans.
Oh no. Oh no.
What happened?
It's
no-
happening. It's unraveling.
Yeah.
What's the
Once
procedure? What's the
Woodruff-
procedure?
Once Woodruff got hurt, it was all over. I think I might be back in on Aaron Rodgers. He did his usual Pat McAfee appearance on Tuesday, and he referred to Travis Kelce as Mr. Pfizer, and I love that so much. He said their defense played well enough not to let Mr. Pfizer affect the game too much.
This
And
guy,
I had no idea. I didn't even know who he was talking about. It took the radio guy to explain to me. I was like,
You didn't see the commercial?
the commercial.
Kelsey has jumped the shark so freaking hard, dude.
Oh,
He's in
man.
State Farm commercials.
Yep.
He's in
Bad.
Experian credit score commercials. He's
Yep.
getting double
I
vaxxed.
worship you.
I saw
It's
that
like-
McAfee
I want to claw
podcast.
my eardrums out. when I
Did
see
you?
it.
Was it
I
good?
saw that McAfee podcast. I watched it. and,
Nauseating.
it's funny the comparison that they made, and they kind of insinuated that it wasn't really a jab at Kelsey, is more of maybe a little bit of jealousy on the part of Big Aaron, because he used to be that guy. If you'll remember, he was
Discount
the
double check.
arm dude, and
He
he was the guy that was in the commercial. Yeah, the discount double check and stuff, and Kelsey's kind of taking some of his thunder there.
Yeah.
Mahomes and Kelsey both, I guess. I mean, Mahomes is now the State Farm guy, and it
They
just
even got Jake from State Farm in the stands next to Mrs.
Hey,
Kelsey.
in the
Right.
But
With his mom.
Kels kind of put himself out there with that Pfizer one. Like he knew
Yeah,
he was
but-
going to take some shit on that.
But honestly,
I'm sure
Kelsey's
they
put
backed the
himself
truck
out
up.
there in every aspect of this. Let's not kid ourselves. The whole Taylor Swift deal was trumped up by him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's
Oh, yeah.
he's put himself out there in every aspect of this. This
Oh
is
no!
a
Now he says it's getting
publicity
too much.
grab at its highest level.
Agreed.
Now he's saying the media needs to back off.
Oh,
They're making too big of a
Whatever.
Oh,
And listen,
Yeah.
play the
when
violin.
you asked for
This
it, and you
forest
did
fire
it,
I started is out of control.
Right.
Someone
Hey,
put it
and-
out.
I also saw that one, and he said,
Boo-hoo.
well, she doesn't like it, so we've got to slow our roll, which is the first
Oh.
sign of
It's
a
over.
bad situation.
Right.
He asked for it, he got it. Now he's trying to change the rules of the game because that's what she wants.
Backpedal.
Come on, man.
He's the dog that caught the car.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
I
Oh my
I
God,
say
that's awesome.
he'll be the next album.
Oh,
and-
yeah,
and-
that's a given.
and it's a win-win for her. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that deal comes apart like the Space Shuttle
Judging.
Challenger, and next thing you know, she's on the hit. She's the hit,
Yep.
and
I
America's
guess
sweetheart.
we weren't so tight in
He-
the end.
He did it wrong.
Whatever.
I mean, there's if it works out, then it's
Running
great.
seam
If
routes
it blows
on my
up, it's
heart.
great. She wins in any way that goes down.
That's right. Like Wendy Peppercorn, she knows what she's doing.
It's exactly
right.
right.
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah, I can't take any more Travis Kelce. And he had his own dating show. I can't take any more of him. I can't take any more of Taylor
Bad.
Swift.
He
I can't
rem-
take. It's just too much.
He's every kid you went to school with who wore the same, like a matching South Pole sweatsuit to school every day.
With a rusty chain.
He's the kid who wore the Carl Kanai shirt with a metal medallion sewn to the front of it. It's
You know, in all
he's
honesty,
taking advantage of his relevancy. I mean, if we just were talking about Aaron Rodgers and how his, State Farm stint didn't last forever, right? So if he's gonna maximize on it, he's like the band Kiss right now, where it's just too much. Where you want to puke.
Whoa.
Stop now.
Let's not
No,
reference
Travis Kelce's
a
good
great
at football,
icon
dude.
like Kiss here. Okay.
So
Let's
this is
those guys are Jewish geniuses.
Oh, okay.
And that's still happening today. And they were relevant.
It
They
is.
got their 15 minutes like 67 years ago. They're still making
Right.
money. They're geniuses.
So he's just gonna go down the Kiss laundry list of, okay, Travis Kelce, what do I have to do? I have to do my lunchbox. I have to make my own coffins. I have to make that's how I
Hey,
feel.
and if he's still relevant 67, 70 years from now, good for him. Because I can tell you, Dr. Love comes on right now. It's a jam. I'm turning it up.
Chris, that's your cue.
Hey, I like some Kiss music. I'm going to tell you right now.
Kiss was my very first concert, 1976. My parents couldn't find a babysitter.
I've seen them about 6 times.
Excellent.
1976.
That's how you grew up to be so awesome.
No, I
You're
there.
badass.
in the recipe. That's in the herbs and spices for sure. That make up.
That's one of the things that I talk
Oklahoma
about
City.
in any hiring process I'm in. It's my duty to pass on great culture like Kiss to the younger generation.
Hey, can I just tell you
clue.
that when his daughter Avery turned 16 and he gave her that fucking car, he put legit Kiss covers on the seats with
Still
Gene
got 'em.
Simmons.
They're going on this truck I just bought.
Oh my God, that's excellent.
You don't got Kiss seat covers. You don't know anything about Kiss.
Wait, did you give the son your truck and then upgrade? Is that what happened?
No. Oh no.
No, you're pulling the pin on a grenade there, man.
You
are. Boy.
No, that did not happen.
All right.
Sounds like a really great off-air conversation.
I did upgrade.
Yeah. Wait, that reminds me of being a son and then having a dad and then needing car help. A buddy of mine, he was looking at this new truck and he had just got awful credit. And I think they quoted him at 15% interest. And so he was just like calling his dad, calls his dad. He's like, hey, I got a problem. I don't know if I can afford the interest on this loan and everything. And meanwhile, his dad's like, he's doing some moving and shaking on some cars. They might be shuffling. He might end up with one of them. So anyway, he says, all right, yeah, sorry, left it pretty open-ended. Gets a call about a week later. Hey, I'm at the insurance company. Need you to come down and sign some paperwork. So my buddy goes down there pumped. He's either going to have his dad co-sign or he's going to pick up the scrap. And then he gets in and he goes, I need you to sign the papers. He's like, what's this? He goes, I just bought a 57 Chevy. And this is so that legally you are saying you will never touch it so that I get lower interest rates.
That is a real thing. That is a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
awesome.
if you got some sketchy backgrounds in your family, make sure you're checking those things, checking all the boxes you can to lower those premiums. Because if you got a son who's leaving trucks in the middle of fields, the insurance company's aware.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're aware.
Well, that ain't no shit.
Yeah.
They make themselves aware of everything. They don't build those.
I just
big
love the
buildings
fact
on
that
somebody
somebody has to sign a legally
You put on
binding
the
document that they will
list.
never touch a car.
Yep. Yep. Just walk away from it. In flames in a field behind you. It's not your worry anymore.
Nope.
Shit'll
It's
buff out.
financially
Nearly
someone else's
escaped my
issue.
life.
Yeah.
Guess that
Marty
farmer
Wood.
owns it.
Yep.
Yeah. Never mind 30 minutes ago it was worth $8,000 and now it's worth $80.
Now it's a liability.
Actually, it's going to cost you $600 to pull it out of there.
Yeah. Well, we're going to give you 600 for it and here's the tow bill for $575.
Yep.
Oh man, live, laugh, love.
Yep. Deshaun Watson was medically cleared to play on Sunday. Did you know that? It was reportedly up to him, and
I
he
saw
just
that.
didn't feel right. I can't tell if Stefanski was throwing him
Right.
under the bus or not. But boy, Dorian Thompson-Robinson is not ready for the NFL. He's fun in the preseason, but once you cut the bad players, you don't want to put him out there. That was rough. Neither is Aiden O'Connell. Holy shit. When the opponent is complimenting you after the game on how easy you were to sack, you're not ready. Like
That's not nice.
No. I think Khalil Mack had 6 sacks on Sunday. And he said, yeah, he's not at all like the other number 4 they have back there. That one moved around. This guy does not move around. So very
guys,
easy.
we're at DEFCON 4, one of the lower ones, for bad football this year. There has been so many bad games. How many games have ended 20-something to 3? Now, the NFL's whole business model is predicated on the fact that almost every game is within 3 points. It makes it awesome to watch. And how many games have you turned on and been like, this is dog shit, I'm going to go do something else, and then check the score in the fourth quarter? It's bad. And I'm sending up the warning signs now. I don't know if it's because we aren't playing guys in preseason, the coaches don't know what they're doing, yada, 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 but we are not getting a very good product on the field game in and game out, and it's getting a little bit annoying.
That's what I was trying to figure out, like the intensity of preseason and training in the off season and preseason and practice and studying your playbook and watching film, and like, what's the leniency? Is it like player related, or is it coaching related, or is it both? Like,
and I'm sure they're doing that. It's not translating. And guess what? Tomorrow we got a slap fight between the Redskins and the Bears. Why is that a Thursday night game?
Yeah,
Thursday nights aren't for the crappy games anymore.
Why doesn't the NFL flex that thing to 3 o'clock on Sunday?
Flex that thing to the moon.
Yeah, flex that son of a gun out to the parking lot on some kind of puppy halftime.
Because everything else is garbage too.
That should be on the UPN on Tuesday morning.
Yep.
After 227.
You want to talk about a 9:30 London game? That
After
right there has the
single.
makings of a 9:30
should be the punishment.
London game.
That should be the punishment.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey,
you go over to Wembley.
Bad enough. Guess what? Next year, punch your ticket for 2 times over in London, like the Jaguars.
And no, you're not going to Munich where they have a good time. You're going to London where they're all wearing Jacksonville Jaguars jerseys from.
And you're going to eat boiled potatoes.
Right. You're going to eat shitty food with no taste.
I don't know if this is
cue Benny Hill music.
I don't know if this was a scheduling conflict or if it's like next level mental warfare, but the hotel that the Jaguars are staying in this whole time they've been in London, the Bills have that hotel booked for this week. So they all had to pack their shit and get out and watch the Buffalo Bills move into what was once their hotel. Now, will they be mentally defeated by that? Will they be motivated? I don't know. I think the Bills are going to kick the shit out of them. They seemed like they were hitting on all cylinders, and the Jags just played a bad team.
Wait, who are the Bills playing? I'm sorry.
Jacksonville in London.
So Jacksonville basically took a 2-week trip.
Yep. They took a 2-weeker because they decided, hey, we'll go ahead and fall on the grenade for the next 3 years. We won't have to go if we go ahead and hit 2 weeks in a row there. And then we can just stay and practice. Everybody will get adjusted. By the time we get the Bills in town, we'll have a chance to win. Which, again, it's not a bad plan from a strategic standpoint, because it's such a difference from being here to going over there anyway. So you might as well just stay and do 2.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Then they can booby trap the rooms with stinky.
I can tell you, Eric, what I would say is the guy that's in charge of booking the hotel rooms needs to be finding a new job.
Yeah.
Because the fact that they had to pack up and move out to a hotel, unless it's across the street, it's garbage.
Yep. And
that's bad. That's bad logistics, dude. That's just bad planning.
Speaking of bad planning, the Jags aren't electing to take their bye week after this 2-week jaunt to London. They'll play the Colts in Jacksonville on the 15th after they play the Bills in London on the 8th. And then they play again on the 19th. That must be Thursday night football. They're going to be so wiped out.
Why? Who's doing that?
What kind of an insane? They play in London on the 8th. They play in Jacksonville on the 15th, and then they go to New Orleans to play on the 19th.
Well, I can't think of being in 3 different cities ever.
Why would they do
London,
that?
Jacksonville, and New Orleans?
I don't know. That's a nightmare situation. And then they're taking
like a punishment.
Yeah. I don't know what that's about.
The NFL should be pushing.
I'm going to tell you this though. Circle that one on the calendar, my man, especially on the 19th against New Orleans.
Yeah.
Is that when if Carr is back, even if Carr's not back, that has the makings of Trap City.
Yes, it does. And then they have the Steelers coming up the following. Well, that's not really anything you're looking forward to anymore. I'm real worried about the Steelers. They look like a bad football team.
As you should be.
We did get a vintage Derrick Henry game. He had 122 and a touchdown, 9 broken tackles. Still got it. Speaking of still got it.
That was the one. Now we'll wait 4 weeks for the next one.
Yep. Baker Mayfield on 3rd down this season is completing 79.5% of his passes, throwing for 325 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. They are loving him down there.
I'm just going to tell you, he's back, and they're
he's
winning
all
that
the way
division.
back.
He is hand in glove perfect for Tampa.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Hey,
they're winning that division. I thought that today too.
He's the trailer park slutty girlfriend. That's the rebound that you went and got. You're leaning on the old Trans Am you got, and you're showing her off. That's what you're doing right now. Looking pretty good in the REO Speedwagon jacket.
Hey, baby.
Yep.
Take that, Dad.
Yeah.
She may live in a prefab house, but she is not hooked on drugs, and she's pretty hot. So, actually, kind of a catch.
Yeah.
She's Stanston, hair to bar.
Exactly what that is.
Stanston, hair to bar. Yep. Exactly.
I love it. I love the fact that he is a viable quarterback this year. I'm loving it.
I'm in. Yeah, I was pretty much neutral on Baker. I guess I kind of liked him, but you've really sold me on him, Coach. I'm a Baker guy now.
I mean, how can you not be? The dude, all he did was show up to town and start winning. I mean,
the saga.
He's the underdog story, man. You got to get on board with him. And Tampa came out of nowhere in a division that looked really interesting until Carr got
Talk to me in week 8, Coach.
I will.
Well,
you'll be right there, and you'll be sitting right there, and you'll watch it all crumble.
And good God, does Atlanta have a quarterback problem?
Yes, they do.
That was one. I think a lot of people saw that coming, but maybe hopeful that Desmond Ridder could be a Baker Mayfield level player and win you some games. But good grief, Atlanta's got some soul searching to do.
Yeah,
I mean they got running backs, of course, but
and the defense.
As we all know, that ain't too much.
They're losing games because of their quarterback, and you can't have that.
Yeah,
you got to get Taylor Heineken in there, maybe see what he can do.
You got to do something because handing it off to Bijan every play is a problem.
Yeah, you're gonna
get that man killed.
Yeah,
it's just the plight of every running back is they're there to supplement a shitty quarterback so they get fed the ball so that they're worn out. They got city miles on their first 2 years of their career.
Hey, I honestly believe that is Tampa's MO for the season. Hey, listen, all else fails, we'll run the Wildcat with his ass. I mean, seriously, that's what do they do anything else? I mean, that's got to be their thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's getting almost as much work as Christian McCaffrey. He's on pace for 416 carries and targets.
Won't happen.
No,
enjoy it now. Go ahead. Burn up the whole tank because once it hits empty, she's empty. And that's what's going to happen. We're going to hit about week 9 and it's going to come in the form of probably some sort of sweep that he gets blown up on at the end, and then it's going to be
who are you talking about right now?
Hell of an offseason for that guy.
I'm gonna shut your mouth.
They're
gonna ride him to victory lane. If not, I got his back up.
They're blowing teams out, and he's still in the game.
Yeah,
meaningless snaps.
They are just, making it rain on hoes over there.
They're tempting fate is what they're doing.
He's got 20 touchdowns in his last 17 games.
Oh, he's doing great things, and it's going to be
He
great
is.
for a while. But that
Pete
clock
Talk
has
has
the
begun.
expiration date, man.
I agree with you, Coach. I think if there's one lesson that, for the love of God, can we please learn as a society, take them out when it's not meaningful. For
Amen.
Pete's sake,
Absolutely.
as a Chicago Bulls fan, seeing Derrick Rose go down, as pretty much every team has a story of a guy getting injured, shouldn't have been in. Just stop. This guy's a generational talent, and you don't need him.
You did, yeah. It's cool that he had.
He
4
should be having half a days until it matters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
People are saying he could be the MVP this year. Adrian
Yeah.
Peterson was the last running back to win the award in 2012 when he defied
In
all
order to win
science
the
and
MVP,
logic.
you have to complete the season. And I'm
Yep.
telling you that's not going to happen if they keep doing it the way they've been doing it. It won't happen. It won't happen.
They need to chill. They need to chill on how much they give him the ball. They got plenty of guys. They got Kittle. They got Ayuk. You got Debo.
Yeah.
Debo can even run the ball a little. So
And they have a quarterback who can pass it.
yeah,
I
he
mean-
completed 95% of his passes. What are
That's
you
the
doing?
Giants how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Boy, that was ugly. I could tell all I needed in my personal fantasy matchup was the Seahawks defense to not score 17 points. And I could tell 5 minutes into the game they were going to score 30.
Yeah.
Man, Daniel Jones, $40 million a year. What do you do? You're stuck with him. Poor
Somebody
Daboll's
take
going to ride that
You're
ship to the
you're
bottom.
straight up married to that. You just go ahead and get all up in it. Because that guy's going nowhere. Good
Just start
job,
running the
Giants.
ball.
Remember last year at playoff time when you guys were talking about how you turned the corner?
You beat the Minnesota
Anybody remember
Vikings.
that conversation? How it's going to be their year this year because they were hidden gem?
Yep,
No.
not so much. They're not building on last year.
Oops.
That was the
Now your
last game of the bloodiest weekend in Dollar Bet Club history. Couldn't have picked worse. I was 1 for 10. So
Oh no.
I mean, it was historically bad. Gosh, it was in that one. It's just gut picks at that point. It's just I don't.
You should join us for our football betting podcast. It's pretty good. You'll start
was.
winning again, brother.
Well, I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
he was on it.
Hey,
He was
I was
there
there,
last
bud.
Saturday morning.
I
was
was
there.
there with the rest of the Breakfast Club misfits making all these terrible picks.
Looking at how
I crushed
somebody
it.
led the league in doubles in the month of June.
Gosh.
So-
I thought it'd be an interesting. I thought it might pay off to do the Giants money line, which is a comical line. I should have learned from the first 3 weeks of the year, but they don't have a punch in them this year.
They
Well, and-
do not.
And I'll tell you,
Yeah.
leave it to the Colts to go ahead and shatter my dreams and then bring them all the way back to life
Yeah,
and then go ahead and crush my soul right there at the end by not even getting close. Just
You can't stop Puka Nakua. You can only hope to contain him.
they literally brought my bet back to life single-handedly and then squashed it.
yeah.
And Anthony
I was-
Richardson.
I was working
He's
on
good.
a 5-liner there that was solid gold, and I watched the end of that just to watch him give it away.
So since they're basically hidden because the Colts were not anticipated to be any good, I haven't seen much. What can we expect out of Anthony Richardson? What is he? Is he a Jamarcus Russell? Is he like I'm trying to think big athletic quarterbacks? Obviously, he's not Jamarcus Russell, but who's the comp to him? Because he
looks
seems like
a Cam Newton type to me.
yeah.
I feel like he's a little bit more Hurts-esque. He's kind of got a Hurts vibe to him. You know, he's got some movement, but he can spin it a little.
He
I don't know if he's
completed-
quite as polished, but if you'll remember when Hurts first came in the league, that was the knock on him too.
He had one play where Aaron Donald came through the middle and had him in the grass. He had his arms around him, and he just flicked it like 40 yards downfield for a completion. They said, "Oh wow, I should have taken this kid instead of Dalton Kincaid in that fucking dynasty draft.
He's cool as a cucumber about all of it the whole time too. It's
Yes.
crazy. Even just super even keeled.
Well, when you're 6'5", 250 pounds, there aren't too many situations you're not in full control of. So I can understand that.
He's no Will Greer, but that's okay.
He didn't come in with a ton of experience, and yet he's learning. He's learning quickly.
Hats off to him, and I think that's Shane Steichen. I really do.
Yep.
You know, I wonder if the Colts don't get Taylor back, and they really put a piece to the puzzle they haven't had yet. And
he came back to practice today.
That's the dangerous part of it is they've got a weapon that they haven't even tapped into yet, and they're still winning games. I mean, they're doing some good things.
And that's what's so frustrating as bringing it back to a Bears fan. You look at the frickin' Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts, scrappy guys that quite honestly aren't going to sniff the playoffs, but they're winning games. And who knows, maybe the Colts will sniff the playoffs, but it's frustrating to watch just a scrappy group of gamers go out there and actually execute a game plan to put points on the board and win a game.
Well,
haven't seen it.
I like watching Pearson Stroud. I like watching them on the field. They do fun stuff, man.
Yeah.
And what's
Stroud
wrong with that? I mean, how can the Bears not have that?
Don't know. Our culture has been carpet bombed since Trestman.
Sid Luckman.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
Ooh, we're an hour in. Holy shit! I got a couple news.
We didn't even get any Packers breakdown.
I've got something that we need to get to. I don't know that you guys just glossed over this, but Angela will appreciate this. Tomorrow night, we've got a little Las Vegas Golden Knights world champions kick their title defense off tomorrow night.
There's regular season hockey tomorrow?
There's regular season hockey tonight, my friend.
Oh my God.
Is that am I wrong?
Well, the preseason just started, and I think I'm trying to think.
Is it regular season or preseason?
No, we're regular season now.
Would they have one preseason game each?
That's all they need.
That's right. We got 700 of these games to go.
If you're marketing for the NHL, that's exactly what you do. Everybody gets one preseason game, and then we're right into the.
That's it.
Everybody take a lap. Yep. Let's get them going.
Let's go.
Yep. Couple passing drills, and we are all good to go.
Yeah. The Knights kick it off tomorrow in Vegas.
Nice.
You want everybody to have their teeth to start the season. You don't want those shit all punched out in preseason.
Don't think that I won't be in some Golden Knights gear the next time we are on this podcast. I'm ready.
Well, you better get your Connor Bedard jersey for the
I was going to say.
It's on order. Bedard. It's here.
And Kaner might be going to the Red Wings. That was the latest thing, too. That'll be a problem for everybody.
They better stack somebody up. I'm just
Is
saying.
that official?
No, I just heard he was thinking about going to Buffalo because he's from
yeah. They've been talking about
the Sabres. The Sabres haven't been relevant since ever.
We all had to think about who their mascot was for a second.
A blank check. Okay, John, lay this movie idea on us. This will be our homework. So pay attention.
All right, so I was twiddling my thumbs waiting for an Excel file to load because my computer's slow, and I was realizing we haven't seen a good new football movie in quite some time. So whether it's harkening back to like Remember the Titans or the Replacements, something more, even the Longest Yard remake with Adam Sandler, if you want to go comedy. My thought for you guys is to come up with your leading cast for the next football movie, general plot line, and then head coach, coach's wife, could be offensive coordinator, whatever.
I like it.
But cast us a movie. You can use alive or dead celebrities because the person I thought of first was Bernie Mac at head coach. But, you can get creative with it.
I think I'm going to go Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, ow.
Yeah, if you're a Hollywood producer, you've got to cast the next great American football movie.
I like it.
I like it. I accept this mission. A little NBA. Dame Lillard is now a Milwaukee Buck, and I haven't been this excited since we signed Gary Payton against his will. He was here for like 5 days, and he got the fuck
That was my
out.
favorite player,
Right.
Mr. Oregon State.
Jimmy Butler and his new haircut think the Bucks should be investigated for tampering. I think he's just mad that Miami didn't get Damian Lillard. But
I don't know what he's doing with his pop punk versus emo haircut. I don't think it's cute. I think it's freaking weird. And it's an attention grab when nobody gives a shit about the NBA. So I don't know what the plan was.
a desperate attempt at relevance. I'm not sure, but the Bucks are making good on what Giannis said he wanted. He said they needed to do something and show him that they're invested in winning. Otherwise, he was out of here. So hey, maybe we'll get to keep him. Who knows? We all got the emergency alert. Does anybody feel zombish? Everybody looks pretty normal. If you do, go to cannonbloompharmacy.com. I'm sure they got something for zombieism. Or you can go down there, 2770 East Sumner Street, and find exactly what you're looking for. Check out their new epoxy floor, maybe a studio. There's all kinds of cool shit down there. They got art hanging on the wall you can buy. It's a cool place. Now they got couches.
A couple of big shows coming up.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I saw this.
Oh.
A DJ or some big band. It's a big deal. Yep, a little of that, maybe.
All right. Get into that. And two more things. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis has made his first court appearance today in the Tupac murder trial. His trial has been delayed to October 19th after his attorney failed to show up. What happened there? Pretty high profile case.
This whole thing is weird.
Oh my God, yeah, it is.
Everything about it is weird. Making an arrest in the Tupac murder in 2023. All right. This is even weirder. Toys R Us is going to open 24 flagship stores, whatever that means, at airports and on cruise ships by the beginning of 2024. They went bankrupt in 2017. Can they still be called Toys R Us? What if they turn the R forward?
They have to put two S's on the end. Us.
Yeah. You have to change the name, right? You can't be Toys R Us if you went bankrupt, or can you? I don't know how that works.
Toys were us.
Toys were us.
That's pretty good. Depends on what type of bankruptcy. They probably filed, what is that, Chapter 11, and that doesn't mean the end of the company. It just means, hey, we need one more shot at this. we need to take on some risky investors, and we'll give it another chance.
On cruise ships.
Yeah, honestly, that doesn't sound like an awful idea. I mean, we got people trapped on both scenarios, whether it's in the airport or in the cruise ship. So and there's kids running around screaming. I don't know, get them a Tamagotchi or a whatchamacallit and get them to shut up for a little bit. Yeah. Seems like a good business proposition.
Get them some who's-its and what's-its.
Yeah, Stretch Armstrong or two.
Stuff.
Grandparents are traveling to visit the fam and they don't want to pack all them damned stuffed animals and toys. Land, grab something.
Or if you're a deadbeat dad who took a secret trip and you need to grab the gift on the way home, there you go.
Yeah, that's where they're going to make most of their sales right there. Yeah. Guilt reparations. All right. I'm going to try and get us out of here. I know where the end stream button is, so I feel like I can do it. Thank you everyone for listening. The downloads and reviews mean a lot. We appreciate every single one of them. Head over to patriotsportsnow.com for all of our latest goings on. Join our Discord. It's the pinned tweet at PSRNTWK. Type Patriot Sports into whatever search bar you are using and you'll find us. If you're looking for Wake and Rake, we are out there every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. Central till we're done talking football. And you can find that show on the Fantasy Sports Corporation YouTube channel. So go subscribe to that. Tell your friends. Grab your kids' iPad. Subscribe to it over there. We'll take any and all subscriptions and reviews you got. We'll answer all your football questions. Figure out what kind of decisions we're making on Sunday morning. Come hang out. Be part of the show. Type things in the comments. We'll read them out loud. We'll answer your questions. We'll become friends pretty soon. You'll be on the show with us. Like, that's just how it works. Next time, till then, be good to each other. Chris, kick the outro music.